Welcome to the Dare to Grow Show. I'm Sarah Morgan, and my mission is to help you take daily action in your business, show up consistently and confidently for your audience, and earn more with digital products and programs. I know you have a rad vision for your life and business, but do you dare to grow? Let's jump into this episode and talk about how to make it happen. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about mental health. So if we haven't met before, I'm Sarah. I have anxiety, a whole lot of it. And over the past 2-ish years, I've had a lovely bout of depression. So things have been a little roller coastery in my mental health world. I want to share some of the habits and daily tools that I'm using to support some of the big stuff in my kind of mental health tool arsenal. I talked a little bit more about that experience over the past couple of months and the changes in my mental health and how I've been feeling a lot better. I am feeling so much better. But I have been using some big mental health tools that I talked about in that previous video, which I will link in the description. So I'm on medication. I go to therapy. I have a psychiatrist. During that kind of difficult time, I went out of state. I went back home to my parents' house for a week. And the tools and habits that I'm talking about today are going to be kind of the daily maintenance sort of thing. So the way that I think about a lot of these is if you have ever been to a science museum as a kid, I remember going in elementary school and there's a bike connected to a light bulb. And so you get on the bike and you ride the bike really, really fast and it lights up the light bulb because you're generating power, you're generating electricity to light up the light bulb. That is how I feel about these smaller mental health tools. They're helping me to generate that energy and keep my light bulb on. And so you might find if you are really having a hard time that just doing these things might not be enough. And that's when you maybe need to look into some of the bigger tools like meds and therapy, which I love. They're my favorites. The other thing I wanted to say, which I didn't mention in that first video, is that if you choose meds, therapy, or any of the bigger tools, it does not have to be a forever tool. I think sometimes we're afraid to go into those things because it feels like a lifetime of being on meds. I've been on and off meds, and I know a lot of other people have. Sometimes it takes experimentation, so you end up doing that anyway. But I don't want anybody to especially watch that first video and feel like, I'm going to have to do this forever. You might not. You might take meds for a little while. You might go to therapy for a little while. So I encourage you to experiment. Unfortunately, with mental health, that is kind of part of the deal. I think mental health care is getting better and better as more people are talking about it. And major shout out to all the therapists and mental health professionals who are really providing a huge service right now. The past couple of years have been a little crazy, whether or not you've had personal stuff happening as well. So shout out to all of the therapists out there and the psychiatrists and everybody, social workers doing the mental health work and helping all of us. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. So like I said, I will link that first video in the description if you're interested in any of the bigger mental health tools. But today we're going to talk about the day-to-day stuff, the little habits that kind of keep you going, keep your light bulb running, keep giving you energy so that you can do the bigger stuff. I saw a meme recently on Instagram that said something like, if you eat well and work out and meditate, blah, 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 all the little tools, then antidepressants don't matter. That is not true. Sometimes you can't do the little things without the antidepressants. I just want to say that if you also see those memes and feel personally attacked, you have no idea. I can't go and work out. I can't have a good night's sleep without the big mental health tools supporting me initially. So if you're on the struggle bus, you might have to do some experimenting, but I am rooting for you. And I know that you are going to find the right thing that helps you feel better so that you can keep moving forward. You just need the first step, a little better, and then a little better, and then a little better. And then you start feeling like you're getting your life back. So first up, I always double check the basics. So am I sleeping? Am I eating? Am I leaving the house a little bit? Am I moving my body in some way? For me, this is usually just walking the dog, because those are usually the first culprits that if I haven't done those things, if I didn't have a good night's sleep, if I haven't had a good meal recently, those are the things that really start to make my body shut down a little bit. And then that contributes to having anxiety, overthinking, feeling depressed or extra stressed. The other thing that I have learned about anxiety and mental health issues is that it is connected to your gut. I'm going to let you Google that and do the research on your own. But there has been correlation between eating a lot of processed foods and a lot of sugar that can cause mental health issues. I'm also making sure that I'm hopping in the shower on a regular basis. This might seem silly to people that don't have any mental health challenges or other physical challenges, but getting in the shower can sometimes feel like a lot of work just for some reason. But I know once I'm in there, I'm totally fine and I actually really enjoy it. But it's that getting from what I'm doing right now, or, I'm on the couch at night or in the morning and I'm like, okay, now I need to go take a shower. It's getting myself from the couch into the shower. If I can get into the bathroom and turn that water on, then I start being able to do the whole process. But sometimes that is something that I have to argue with myself over and talk myself through okay, we're just going to go do it. It's going to take 5 minutes and we don't need to overthink it because we like taking a shower. I have to have that talk with myself sometimes. So you might have to go through that process with yourself over showering or something else. And I know I'm not the only one doing that because I follow a few people on the internet who are like, okay, I'm telling the internet that I'm going to go and take a shower so that I can get in the shower. Whatever works. And then lastly, of that kind of big four basics: shower, move, meals, sleep. Sleep is the big one. And often when you have mental health challenges, you're either sleeping too little, you can't fall asleep, you can't stay asleep, you're waking up at 4 a.m. for no reason. Lovely. We love when that happens. Or you might find that you're sleeping too much. That was me, about 6 months to a year ago, having depression, waking up in the morning and just wanting to go to the couch and fall asleep again. Or being able to sleep for 12 hours many days in a row. That's too much sleep. I'm a fully grown adult. I don't need that much sleep. I know that. So I use an app called Sleepy Time. I think they got bought, and so it's named something else now. But essentially what you do is either put in the time that you want to wake up or the time you're falling asleep. So I usually just hop in bed. I click the button that says, I'm going to sleep right now. And then it will give you increments of time based on the sleep cycle, which I think is 90 minutes. And so I'm usually sleeping about 7.5 hours. Sometimes if it's the weekend or I don't have a meeting in the morning and I want to give myself a little bit more sleep, I'll bump it up. I think it's 9 hours on the next option. So it will tell you the specific time to set your alarm for, which is so helpful because then when your alarm goes off, you are going to be in the part of your sleep cycle where you can easily wake up. If you just set your alarm for a random time, okay, I want to wake up at 9 a.m. every day, but you're going to sleep at slightly different times. You're going to be giving yourself different amounts of sleep. And you're also going to be sometimes waking yourself up in the middle of that REM sleep and that deep sleep when you wake up and you're like, what day is it? What planet am I on? What year is it? And you don't know what's going on. So waking up at the right time in your sleep cycle can really make getting up and getting moving so much easier. Okay, once I have those big four checked off, then I'm looking at small habits that I'm doing throughout the day that are going to kind of keep me on track, keep me focused, keep me energized, and to keep my anxiety or depression from showing up and just ruining my whole plan for the day. So number one is meditation. And yes, if you listen to any sort of mental health anything, they will tell you to meditate, but I'm going to give you some tips around meditation because it doesn't always have to be meditation music or a guided meditation. So you don't have to sit for 10 minutes in silence in order to get the benefits of meditation. Sometimes I do this. I'll just sit and close my eyes and focus on my breathing. But often I find that it is really hard for me to stay focused for 10 minutes when I don't have a timer or something. So I use an app called Brainwave, and it is a binaural beats app, which means you're listening to music. Sometimes it's meditation music. They have rain sounds, ocean, whatever kind of vibe you're looking for. And then there are 2 audio tracks. So one is the music or the sounds. And then underneath that, you're going to hear, it kind of sounds like a helicopter going by in the distance. It's just a low droning sound, but it also has a rhythm to it. And it will change throughout the course of the music. So you're not just listening to
kind of a repeating rhythm, it goes with it. And you can also adjust the volume. So you want to set it so that you mostly hear the music or the background sound. And then the binaural beat underneath it, you just want to be able to hear it. So you're mostly getting music, you're getting a little of the beats. And there are lots of different apps for this, but I like the Brainwave app because it has specific things for each type of music. So there's one that's like morning coffee. There's one that's just straight meditation. There's a confidence boost. There's focus. There's creativity. There's things for falling asleep at night. So there's lots of different options and you can use it throughout your day. So sometimes if I'm getting ready to shoot a video, I might throw on my earbuds while I put on my makeup and I'll listen to the confidence boost one, which checks off my meditation for the day, but it also does boost my confidence. There's one that's like an energy or like a pre-workout one. And I used to listen to that. I would literally lay on the couch, close my eyes, and for like 10 to 20 minutes, listen to this before I went and taught aerial classes. And when I would get to that class, I would be lit up. I would be on fire. I would have so much energy and be so excited. And I swear it's from using that app. So you can use it for lots of different things, but I find that it is really helpful either for kind of a guided morning meditation or just something that I can throw in my earbuds throughout the day that is going to kind of like get my brain back on track, get my brain more focused without having to sit down for like 30 minutes in the middle of my day and try and do a meditation. I will just fall asleep if I do that. So the brain waves one really helps to get that meditation in without it throwing off my whole day or like putting me to sleep again. Next up is journaling. You probably saw that one coming if you've been hanging out with me for any length of time. I journal for everything. I journal for business stuff. I journal for personal stuff. And sometimes if I am overthinking or I'm just like stuck on one thing that I just cannot like take my focus off that and get back to my day, I'll just sit down and write down whatever is in my brain. I've said before that my journals are going to need to be burned. I'm going out in a Viking funeral with like 5,000 journals on top of me and all the ashes of my dogs. And yes, this is what's happening. I'm sorry to whoever has to do this. But none of my journals are worth being read. I don't want to go back and read them. I'm really using them to just brain dump, get things out of my head so I can go back and focus on my work or my day or whatever I want to do. And I separate my brain dump journal from like my business journal. So I have usually 2 journals that I'm working on at the same time. The business one is for things I'm going to go back to, things I might need to organize or put into, Google Docs. I'm going to use that information. The other journal is just garbage. It's just whatever needs to come out of my brain and get out of my way so I can get back to my day. So journaling is a big help for me. And if you do want to use journaling for more business stuff, if you're having a lot of mindset issues come up around that or anxiety, I'll leave the link to my 100 journal prompts journal. It's for business owners. It's on Amazon, and you can use that so that you don't have to start from scratch every time you journal. I know that is a big issue. That stops a lot of people. So it's got 100 journal prompts if you are running a business, if you work with clients or customers, and you want to feel more confident about what you're doing. That is an excellent way to start journaling. The other thing that has helped business-wise when I have a lot of anxiety during the day is to get off my computer and just write down a list of whatever I need to accomplish, like the most important stuff. I just write down those like 3 or 4 things and ignore everything else. I ignore my ClickUp and my inbox and all of my DMs and Google Docs and everything else. And I just sit down and say, what is the most important thing? It can be just one thing or things that I need to finish today. Then just having that one singular focus really does help to calm my anxiety, calm my nerves, help me get that focus going again so I can check off the important stuff and move on with my day. Another app that I find really helpful for focus is called Brain FM. So it's brain.fm. And this is an app that you can use for focus or sleep. So they have lots of options. And then you pick your type of music that you like. And then you pick your level of focus. So they have the normal version, which most people can use. They have kind of the level 2 version, which is going to give you more focus. That might be really helpful if you have anxiety or you're finding that you can't catch your thoughts, your brain's kind of all over the place. It'll dial you in. And then they have the ADHD version. So if you have ADHD, I learned about this app from someone who does have ADHD, but I also find I throw it on the ADHD setting and I am super focused. And this app has been my go-to for the days when I cannot get focused. I'm all over the place. I'm doing things for the dog, and then I'm going and, loading the dishwasher, and then I'm checking my email, and then I'm on Instagram, and I'm all over the place. I just put my earbuds in, turn on Brain FM for like 90 minutes, and it just zeroes me in on that task, and I'm able to bust through it. And I really don't find myself looking up or having my thoughts wander or feeling like I need to get up and do anything. Like it locks me into that task. So if you're having trouble with focus, having something like this that you can just turn on and it's going to really, really help you in the moment is so beneficial. That's what this video is for, so that you have more options, more tools for those little points in the day when you're like, fuck, why isn't this stuff working? Why can't I get it together? Now, if my issue during the day is more anxiety and less about focus or concentration, I go for an ice pack. A lot of people will tell you to do a cold shower, a cold plunge, stick your face in a bowl of freezing cold water. Those things work. You should try them, but I don't want to do that. Especially like I just did my makeup. I'm not putting my face in a bowl of water. No. So here's what I do. I have an ice pack. I wrap it in a little towel. I literally lay on the couch, put the ice pack on my chest or anywhere that is going to really like suck that cold into your body. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how to explain this properly, but you can put it on the back of your neck. You can put it on your wrists. It's going to like chill you. And that chill is going to zero in your focus. And it also has something to do with the vagus nerve. So you can Google that. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how it works, but I know that for me, it does really help. And sometimes just having that weight on your chest. So if you like a weighted blanket, I have like 500 blankets and throw pillows around me at all times. So ice pack, blankets, a little weight, and just chilling for like 10 minutes can really help to kind of bring me out of that anxiety and get me back on track. Or it can just calm me down enough so that I can refocus and do something about it. I can go and get in the shower. I can go have a meal. I can go take a nap, and I can do those things without feeling terrible that I just like my anxiety fucked up my whole day. It happens. So one of the other things that has been really, really helpful for my mental health, for my physical health, is tracking my menstrual cycle. Sorry if you don't have a menstrual cycle. This is not going to help you at all. But if you do, I don't know how I'm 39 years old and I'm just learning about these things. But one of the books I read is called In the Flow, and it talks about the different sections of your cycle and how your body and your mind react to those things. So in certain parts of my cycle, I am on it. I want to be on video. I want to be on stories. I have things to say. I want to share. I want to be on coaching calls. And certain days during my cycle, I don't want to do anything. I want to be under all of my pillows and blankets. I want to take a nap. I want to watch TV. And now that I've started tracking my cycle, instead of feeling guilty or like I'm lazy on those off days, I am simply saying, oh, that's the day in my cycle or the week in my cycle where I am tired, where I need to be cozy, where I don't want to talk to people. And now instead of feeling like I'm all over the place and feeling weird, I'm realizing that those are very specific days within my cycle. Why am I learning this at 39? I don't know. I hope the majority of you are like, duh, Sarah, but I have a feeling there's going to be a whole bunch of people listening to this going, what the fuck? Really? Why did we not learn this? I'm in the United States. Maybe that's the problem. It probably is the problem. So the book is called In the Flow. I'll leave a link for that. And they have an app, but I actually use an app called Stardust. And it has a lot of the same information, but I know that Stardust is kind of obsessed with their encryption and their privacy policies. So when you're putting information about your menstrual cycle into an app, it can be a little bit scary. I mean, I've watched The Handmaid's Tale. I'm fully freaked out by that. And so I want to make sure that if I am putting information about my menstrual cycle into an app, that it's going to be secure. So Stardust, really loving it. So they have information for all 4 phases so that you can tell what you should be eating, how you should be working out, whether you want to be outgoing or a total hermit. So now I don't feel bad about those things or feel bad about my different energy levels during the month or the level of peopling that I want to do. It's normal. It's part of my cycle. And now that I can track it, it makes it a lot easier to not feel guilty or stressed out when I have one of those off days. And then on the flip side, I'm able to really take advantage of the days when I have a lot of energy, when I want to be outgoing, when I have lots of things to share. And then the last thing I want to share with you is that I actually have a habit tracker. So if you're on the podcast, you won't be able to see this, but you can go over to the YouTube video. So essentially what I've created is a week-long tracker. I've got, I think, 6 spaces in here with bubbles, so I can just fill in the bubble when I check off that thing. So it has things like the time that I wake up and go to sleep, whether I've moved my body, meditated, read, journaled. So all those little habits that are going to keep my anxiety low and my energy high are what I'm tracking so that I can see, oh, this week I got really good sleep, or this week I meditated every day and here's how I felt. So at the bottom of the tracker, I have lines and I'm able to give myself a rating. So I am tracking my anxiety. So on a 0 to 10 scale. And holy shit, it's been 0 for 2 months. Yeah, 2 months now. 0 anxiety. Oh my gosh. Shout out to my meds. That's what's doing it. But I'm also tracking my energy level and then also my level of getting shit done. That's usually just a yes or no question. Did I get shit done or did I not get shit done? And then I'm able to look at those numbers and correlate them with what I checked off in my habits. Did I fill in all of my bubbles for reading before bed? Did I fill in all the bubbles for showering or taking a walk? So this is actually inside the Dare to Grow planner, and that has all of the business planning, content planning, lots of calendars and daily pages, but that is included in there. So on the weekly page, and it's right inside. So you're doing it every single week. It's part of the process. So this is on Amazon, 90-day business and content planner. And let me know how it goes, how tracking some of this stuff helps. If you've tried any of the apps or anything that I have mentioned today, I would love to hear. And I know that when you have mental health challenges, sometimes you just make up shit as you go along because you have to figure things out on your own. And so if you have any cool, weird things that you do that really help, please share. I would love to know. And lastly, I always like to remind you that you don't need to have a mental health diagnosis or go to a psychiatrist or therapist or be on meds to use these tools. If shit is difficult, if you are stressed out, if you are feeling anxious, try some of this stuff and see what happens. Because once you start stacking these up, I think they really help to kind of create a support system so that you're physically able to do more of the bigger mental health stuff. Or if it's really hard, do the big mental health stuff first, check into meds and therapy, talk to a psychiatrist. I will link the apps that I use. I'm on BetterHelp and Cerebral. Those work really well because I know finding a mental health care provider can be so challenging, even if you have insurance, and it should be easy. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of difficult still. It's getting better with things like apps, making it easier, making it more affordable. So I will leave links to those. Check them out. Otherwise, I hope you are hanging in there, and you're totally welcome to send me a DM on Instagram if you have questions that you don't want to put out in the comments. I know this stuff is tough, and I'm happy to share my experiences with you or give you a little encouragement. Keep going. There is sunshine behind every cloud, even if the clouds stay for fucking forever. I'm rooting for you. Have a lovely week, and I will talk to you again soon.
Oh, and one more thing before I go. If you have any questions on anything we talked about today, or if you are looking for help to market and grow your business, head over to daretogrow.co. That's daretogrow.co and join us in Dare to Grow. It's my membership for solopreneurs looking to simplify their marketing, show up with confidence, and finally grow their online business. You will get instant access to all of the trainings, the twice monthly coaching calls, our monthly planning and goal setting call, and our super supportive Facebook community filled with solopreneurs just like you. Seriously, it's so good. If that sounds like something you need, link is in the show notes or visit daretogrow.co, and I will see you inside.